Hello, heathens. Welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, you may have noticed, I am in a slightly different setup. Okay, I have been redecorating my apartment. I've kind of been going wild with it. This is going to be the apartment of my dreams. And your eyes do not deceive you. I do have floating candles because I am magic. So I haven't been reading as much as I wanted to, actually, because I didn't post a video on Wednesday because I've just been so in the decorating, the painting, the decorating, doing all of the stuff. I think it's a few weeks away, but I am gonna do a proper apartment tour, bookshelf tour. I'll show you everything I did. It's very witch, magic school, Hogwarts. The books I've been reading have definitely influenced me. So this is like the potions mistress's apartment at the magic school. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm very lucky I live alone. But I live alone, I own my flat, I can kind of do what I want. So this is really the apartment of my dreams, and I will kind of show you once I'm done. But today, I thought I would talk about the new releases, and they have a theme. So this is new releases. Should you read them? Well, I don't know, you're an adult, make up your own bloody mind. But this is my opinion. So these are all magic based, and actually my three favorites are magic school based. And I've been loving reading these, and like I said, they've very much influenced my decorating tastes. So enough of the decorating. There will be a vlog. I'll do like a reading, decorate. I'll get there, I promise. But the books. So I'm going to go in ascending order, so from my least favourite to the ones that I loved. So unfortunately, let's start here. Now, actually, I'm going to talk about these two. These are both second books in series. So obviously, if you haven't read the first book, it's not going to be as interesting, so I won't talk about these for too long. But I'm going to start off here, and this is my least favourite book of the bunch. This is Wrath of the Dragons. This is book 2 to Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. And then this is The Robin on the Oak Throne. This is book 2 to The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind. So let's start here. So Fear the Flames, I loved. Dragons, first of all. Second of all, FMC is very cool. She's very kick-ass. There was a prophecy when she was born, and her father, the king, the prophecy basically said that she was going to overthrow the king and his kingdom, and he was scared of his own daughter, and Father of the Year locked her in the dungeons and took away her dragons, who she was bonded to. So it was very unusual. She got bonded to dragons when she was a child or baby. So she basically grew up in these dungeons being very badly treated, and she manages to escape. And she's older, established her own kingdom, but she wants her dragons back. So book 1 is her teaming up with the grumpy, growly, dangerous, scary, hot general of the enemy kingdom. Don't like her father. And they kind of team up together to rescue her dragons, and there's more political things going on in the background. Loved book 1. Like 5 stars. Loved it. So very excited about book 2. So I'm going to be completely honest. If I hadn't been listening to this on audio, the audiobook was good. I don't know if I'd even have made it all the way through. The thing with this one is it was weirdly paced. It has middle book syndrome. It has such middle book syndrome. So what I do love is the romance, and that's what kept me going. I adore the romance in this. They are both very broken. They've both got pasts and histories. And they're both really struggling to trust. So they have to get over their trust issues in order to actually have a relationship with each other. Love that. The end made me go, ah. So I'm probably going to read book 3 just because I'll try and find it at my library or an audio because I want to know what happens. But the middle bit, there was a lot of like political negotiations, a lot of fight. I don't know. It really dragged for me. It really dragged, and it's a shame because I love the first book. I do also love the FMC. She's very kick-ass. There's magic in this, so there's magic in this world, and of course the dragons are very cool, and when she takes the dragons into battle. But this was a 3-star because of the romance and the dragons. Should you read this? Maybe. Yes, if you want to know what happens, if you like the first book and you think, hey, I don't know if I'd spend, I regret the money I spent on it. So I would say try and find it from your library, audio, free, Kindle, whatever. But yeah, really love the first book. Moving on. Robin on the Oak Throne. This is urban fantasy. So the series is going to be in my urban fantasy video. I really loved it in the Holly Library. So Kies is our main character there. We are in like a modern but sort of slightly dystopian version of New York City, where the monsters and the humans had like a war, and now there's sort of a peace treaty, and the monsters are all out of the closet. And Kies is human, and she is doing, you know why I say it that way, she's doing a job, because she's a thief. And she just thinks to herself, I really hope this isn't a monster's apartment, because then I'll be really breaking the treaty and bad things will happen. And I'll be like, and guess what? Yeah, it's a monster. But Graves, he's a very powerful magician. Magic. There's a lot of magic in this. There's a lot of Celtic and Irish mythology in this. It's very cool. I love that. There's a goblin market. Anyway, back to the storyline in the first book. So he catches her, and instead of, he sort of says, okay, I'm going to give you a chance. You're going to do a job for me. So he kind of enlists her help to do a job because she has a very special talent as a thief. And they develop a relationship as well. Book 2 opens in Paris. And she's doing a job. So Kies is doing a job in Versailles. And in Versailles, they're currently having this ball for the Witch Queen. And all the monsters are there, and she's there to steal some jewels from the Palace of Versailles, which I love. I've been to Versailles. It's gorgeous. And so I love that. And things go a little bit awry, and then Graves comes back into the picture. We go to Dublin. Like I said, we go to the Goblin Market, which is a lot of fun. We go back to New York City. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if I loved it quite as much as the first one. I'm not sure. But I enjoyed going to the different places. There was a little bit of a lull in the middle of it. But the more I think about it, the more it kind of keeps me thinking about it. And I'm definitely going to read the next book, because again, it ends and you're like, oh, come on. So this is the cycle. So I'm assuming it's going to be the third book. But I enjoyed that, like I said, that going all over the place. You learn more about her history and her family. And I think a lot of that dragged a little bit. Some of the relationship stuff dragged. I will say this. I said this last time, and I'm going to say it again. K.A. Lint does not do spice well. For me, I'm so sorry. I cringe every time. No. Spice scenes, no. They're a little bit better. The first book was really bad. These ones are a little bit better, but... So that's the one thing I go, oh, no. But other than that, so I'm not really that... I don't know about the romance, but I love the sort of thieving and the magic. And again, towards the end of this book, or at the end of this book, you have a kind of Ocean's 11 inspired heist, which is a lot of fun. So I think you should read this. I really do think you should read the series. It's going to be, like I said, in my urban fantasy series. It's great urban fantasy. I really enjoy it. This is a 3.75 star. Yeah, enjoyed it as a second book. Like I said, a little bit draggy, but still enjoyed it as a second book. And I'm going to read the third one. So if you've read the first one, I recommend that one. Then let's move on to something that, first of all, is going to match. Just got the back of the book out. Is going to match my look. Yes. And it's also cozy. So this is cozy witch fantasy. And right from the get-go, I'm going to say I'm not necessarily a cozy kind of gal. Yeah, no, I like a dark. Okay. But I really love this. I really, really enjoyed this. And one of my viewers actually commented on the video when I had this in my, I think either my haul or my TBR, and they said this was really good, and yes, can confirm, loved it. So this was recommended to me by the Waterstone Seller, and this is a Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sandhu Mandana. I have not read her first book, Irregular Witches. It's on my TBR cart down there. I will be reading it. You can read these independently. I don't think I was missing anything, but based on how much I enjoyed this, I'm definitely going to read the other one. So this is about our main character, Sarah Swan. That's a great name, Sarah Swan. And we first meet Sarah when she's young, and she's being raised, I think, by her aunt. And her aunt has this inn, right? And she helps her aunt run it. And then her aunt just sort of expires in front of her. So Sarah's like, oh, bugger. What do I do? Oh, I'll bring her back because I'm a witch. I'm magical. She necromancies her. Necromancy bad. No, don't do necromancy. So she gets kicked out of the magic school. She gets kicked out of the magic guild. And she's kind of exiled. And you meet her like, I don't know how many years later. She's an adult. I think she's in her early 30s now. Running the inn with her aunt. And also at the time, in order to revive her aunt, bring her back, she basically depleted her well, almost to pieces. She's got a tiny bit of magic left, her magical stores. And because she's kind of been cut off from the magical world and cut off from the academy, she hasn't been able to replenish her magic. So she's got this little bit of magic left that she uses to kind of run the inn. And what I loved about this inn was it's only visible to people that need it. So it attracts the people that need to be there. And the ragtag people that are there, this found family is divine. There's a knight who's like rich boy who's rejected his family, who basically works at the like medieval fair and walks around in armor all day. It's great. Really quirky cast of characters in here, and they will kind of find their home at this inn. Very sweet. But she's running this, but like she really misses her magic. She wants her magic back. So they kind of devise a scheme to get her magic back, and they enlist the help of the history professor from the magic school. And so there's a nice little romantic subplot. I would say the fantasy is the major plot, and then the romance is a subplot in this, and I really love that. I thought the balance was perfect. Our main male character, he also has a sister, a younger sister. His parents have kind of almost like disowned her in a way, because she is autistic, neurodivergent, but she's also a witch, so she finds it difficult to control her magic as a young child. And they've kind of basically almost like kicked her out, and he's looking after her and he's trying to help her. And at the school, they're always trying to put her in these rigid boxes. And when she's at the inn, she can finally be herself, and she finally finds a place that accepts her, which I loved. There's this real undertone of acceptance, of being who you are, of not necessarily conforming to what society expects you to be, and also not like looking outward going, my life isn't good enough because it's not what people think it should be. I love that. I just think this has such heart. It's so sweet. There's such funny bits in it. There's a witch that's gotten turned into a fox, so a talking fox in this, and I love her. She's nasty, she's naughty, but I like it. It's so much fun. I had the best time reading this. If you want something that's like a palate cleanser, that's going to be a fun, cozy time, it's got real heart. I think you should read it? Yes, I would absolutely recommend this. And you do not have, this is a standalone. You do not have to read the first book to enjoy this, although I'm definitely going to read the other one as well. But yes, it's very sweet. It's very lovely. This is a 4-star read. I would recommend reading this if any of that sounds good to you. Of course, you're an adult, so you know what I'm going to say. So let's get to the 3 books. Okay, so these 3 books have very much informed my decorating choices as well. They all have kind of dark academia, magical dark academia vibes. They all are fantastic, and I think you read them. So this is the first one. This is Arcana Academy. This is by Elise Cover, and this book is beautiful. Look at her, she's pretty. So this was the Waterstones special edition. So this is my first foray into Elise Cover, and this is about Arcana Academy, which is a school, kind of a magic school, but the magic system in this world is based around tarot cards, wielding tarot cards, kind of like one dark window. There's a lot of tarot magic stuff going on at the moment, which I love. I'm going to do a whole video because I have so many books. There's another one down there to do with tarot and tarot magic, and I'm loving it. But I'm just saying, it seems to be popular, so I'll be doing a video on that. But so you wield the cards. Now you have people that can ink tarot cards, because these tarot cards need to be inked in order to use them. But this is very strictly controlled by the monarchy. One of the princes, Kalis, he is the headmaster of Arcana Academy, and you can only do this within the confines of the academy. If you do it illegally, you get thrown in jail. And guess what? Yes, Clara, she was illegally inking tarot cards, so she got stuffed in jail, right? She's in the dungeon, she's not having a good time. Kalis comes to her one day and says, hey, Clara, I can get you out. Can I get you out of the jail? However, there's always a price to pay, right? You have to enroll in Arcana Academy. You have to go through the initiation, which is a hell of an initiation, I'll tell you something. And then you have to actually enroll and do everything in the academy. And while I say this is really great dark academia, because we actually follow them while they're studying, we follow them while they're practicing, doing all these trials, going all through these different trials to get to the end of this academy. So you actually see it and you're with them when you're doing it. I love that aspect of it. I also love the kind of the tarot mythology and all of that. I thought the world building magic system, all of that was amazing in this. So you got to do that, which is pretty hectic. But also, side note, you've got to pretend to be my fiance, because that'll keep you safe. They won't be able to stake you back to jail. And also, there's obviously something I want you to do for me. Right. Which we then find out. She also, of course, decides, hell, I don't want to stay in jail. Sure. But she does try to escape. Also, she is there to find out what happened to her sister. So her sister went to Arcana Academy, and you start to find out her history and her family, and we're trying to figure out what happened to her sister as well. So there's that kind of almost subplot going on. And then obviously what's going on in this world, what Kalis actually wants from her. And of course, you know, dark, moody, grumpy, growly headmaster student. They may like each other. It's my thing. I love it. They are of age. But yeah, there is the romance, which I really enjoyed. So should you read it? Yes, if you want Dark Academia vibes, if you want the kind of witch school vibes, tarot magic, if that sounds good to you, if you like One Dark Window, give it a go. Then, second to last, it's Silvercloak. Oh my gosh, okay. This is Laura Stevens, so LK Steven. She of Infinite Faiths. I also read 2 other YA books of hers, Society for Soulless Girls and Our Exquisite Fate, I think, is the other one. No, Soulless Girls, Every Exquisite Thing is the other one. That one's actually based on the Portrait of Dorian Gray. It's very good. Kind of Dark Academia vibe as well. But this one is her first adult book. And it is about our main character, Saffron. She is... So we meet Saffron in the beginning. In this world, there's magic. People wield magic. It's a thing. And she... Where the story opens is Saffron, she's a small child. She's a kid. She's with her parents. And her parents, side note, have this really cool door, okay? Their front door of their house changes colour depending on the intention of the person that's knocking on the door. Don't you want that? Like if the nosy neighbour comes by, it goes pink. Yeah, it's so great. Like it changes so you know what's about to happen, who's about to walk through your front door. And one day the door turns black, and this is like, oh bugger. Okay, this is bad. And it's the blood moons. Now the blood moons in this world are like I'd say they're like organized crime, gang, mafia type of thing. They're the bad guys, basically. And they are searching for a necromancer. So her parents hide Saffron, and they confront them, but they don't get what they want, and her parents are unalived, basically in front of her. She sees this, but she's hiding, right? So you can imagine she has basically revenge in her mind. She wants vengeance, and she wants revenge for what happened to her family. And then we meet her, I don't know how many years later this is, where she's in this very cool academy to become a Silvercloak, and she's busy doing her final trial. Trial's very cool. So what the Silvercloaks are in this world are they are CSI, they are NCIS, they are magical detectives. So cool. Okay, so they're the detectives, they're the FBI, the MI5. They are the detectives, like they have magic, and they use that to figure out crimes. And of course they keep trying to bring down the blood moons. And that's why I said the blood moons are a little bit like the mafia, the organized crime. They run the gambling and the drugs and all of the stuff, right? And she wants to become a Silvercloak so that she can, take the blood moons down and seek vengeance for her family. However, after her final trial, which is very cool, they find out that she may have not been 100% truthful on some of her paperwork. So her her headmaster says, not head, but like the head person, the head FBI person, magical FBI person, the head Silvercloak, says, listen, here's the deal, Saffron. We were going to chuck you in jail for a bit for what you did, but then when you come out, you're going to be deep undercover, okay? You're going to go deep undercover into the blood moons, okay? And you're going to take them down from the inside out. So she's just like, okay, well, if that's my only option. Also, during the last trial, she had a bit of a weird premonition moment, and it may or may not have featured the son of the head of the blood moons. So we then meet her when she gets out of jail, and she's infiltrating the blood moons, and the story goes from that, and you find out all of these things. There is a romance that's amazing. What I will say about this, it is dark. Okay, this is not light and fluffy. What I love, what Laura Stephen did here is, people say, I'm going to write an adult book, and it, like, features one swear word, and it's still not very adult. Girl went there. It's dark, it's visceral. The scenes of torture in this, she hasn't held back. I loved it. The magic system also is based on pleasure and pain, okay? So the way they replenish their magical well is you can either seek pleasure houses, food, wine, music, or pain, or both at the same time, depending on your tastes. So I loved that. But again, it's a very dark premise, right? There's also a lot of fluidity in terms of male, female with each other. Like there's a lot of kind of queer and crossover in this, which is really cool. But yeah, I think she kind of created a really dark, visceral experience reading this. I loved it. It is also book one in a series. So is Arcana Academy. I'm sorry. Do I think you should read it? Yes, if any of that sounds good to you. But I will say you've got to have a bit of a hardier stomach for some of the torture scenes. It is quite visceral, some of it. But I loved this. I think as an adult fantasy debut and with this subject matter, I think she did a fantastic job. I love this. I would recommend this. I really want to read book 2. Okay. Then... Okay, that is a sound only dog whistles should make. I am so sorry. It is very hot in here. I'm trying to like do the magic school autumn atmosphere in like 30-degree heat, and I am actually boiling. I'm gonna turn into a boiled toad in a second. Anyway, Never Thorn by Shannon Mayer also. This was a cover buy. I ain't gonna lie. However, currently, this is sitting at Highway to Hell. If I'm still thinking about it as fondly in a month, it's going to be a second tier book for the Weir for me. Absolutely loved this book. Okay, so what is this about? Okay, this is my pitch. This is my pitch for the book. You're reading Harry Potter, and you think to yourself, I really love this. I love the whole magic school, sorting hat, good versus evil, waving of wands and tournaments and things. But you know what I wish? I wish it were adult. Right, I wish they were adults. I wish that our chosen one was a 29-year-old woman who dropped out of magic school the first time she went to Never Thorn Academy because she was a bit bad at being a mage. The magic just wasn't there. So, she's gone on to become a thief and uses a very cool shorthand version. So the magic in this world, they cast runes, but they use their hands to shape the spells. Fire! Yeah, I'm losing my mind. But she does it in shorthand because she never really learned to do it properly. She can't do it properly. So I wish our chosen one was that. I wish she were snarky and really didn't care about anyone but herself in the beginning of this. And I wish there was a ragtag band of misfit mages who all also failed out of the school the first time, who now have to stand up against Nocta, the big bad, and save the world. Yeah, I wish it was that. Never Thorn. So it is so good. There are so many Harry Potter parallels, I will say, but I loved that. It just, it made my heart so happy. So there is a sorting process. So like I said, our main character, Saffron, she went to Neverthorn when she was a teenager, and she was terrible. She was in the house. So there is a sorting process and a house process in this. The Iron Gate does it. It's very cool. It's a bit more of a gothic way of doing it. I really like it. But she was sorted into like the loser house. Okay. Her and all of the other people that have been brought back were all in the loser house. They were all terrible mages. They're now in the Dimwiter. So the Dimwiter world is the Muggle world in this. They're all doing Dimwiter jobs. None of them is really involved in magic. They were teased and told they were worthless when they were at school. They've now all been brought back, sorted into a different house and told, hey, we buggered up. You are going to save the universe. Yes, you're going to save the world, and you're going to fight Nocta, who is we won't say his name, but we all know who Nocta is like. Nocta was also a student, and he may have some connections to Harlow. So, Saffron, Harlow. Why did I call her Saffron earlier? Her name's Harlow. Sorry, Saffron is the one in Silver Cloak. Harlow is the main character here. I just love this. There is also... So when we start the book, Harlow is also a thief. She uses her skills to thieve, and she's caught by a group of mages, but also one of the professors at the school, Typhon. And she actually went to school with Typhon, and she may have a bit of a crush on him, and he's very grumpy, growly, closed off, dark. Oh, we don't know. He can't show his emotions. So there's an undercurrent. There is a bit of a love triangle in here as well, because there's Liam, who's Irish, from the sister school in Ireland. There's a talking, is it a raccoon? There's a talking raccoon. There is a talking raccoon, I can confirm. It just, and again, this is very dark academia, because we actually follow them at the school in their potions lessons, doing the trial in the end of this. Oh, it's good. There's so many like trials and things they have to do, tournaments. It's just, oh, it is the most, I had so much fun. They get a rune put on them, and they can't swear, so they keep wanting to swear, so they use like creative words, which just made me giggle every time they came up. And this found family, again, a bit like magical innkeeping, these people that were told they were nothing and they were rejects, and they're still being treated poorly by the other students, because the other students are like, what the hell, you know. And the fact that she has to go back to school at 29, which is my nightmare. It's so, and them kind of coming together, and it's beautiful. I loved every second of this book. I think it had real heart, it had humor, it had edge of your seat. It grabbed you by the scruff of the neck. It did not let you go. It did. I need to read more Shannon Mayer. This is my first Shannon Mayer experience. This will not be my last. Do I think you should read this? 100%. Like I said, if you loved Harry Potter, if you loved any sort of magical school setting, if you think that sounds like fun, if you loved Long Live Evil, because it has like a hint of that, I feel, because that is another like Satan tier book for me I love. This is fantastic. 5-6 stars. Loved it. This will be in every recommendation for spooky season moving forward. Yeah, I think you should read it. If, of course, that sounds interesting to you. If you've made it this far, leave me a candle emoji for my lovely floating candles. Fire! And I hope to see you very soon. Let me know what you're reading, if you've read any of these, or what new releases you're interested in. I'll speak to you soon. Bye!